Hi, my name is Elizabeth from Alley Cat Corner. Let's get started. Okay, so we are going to be reading SEUSS by SEUSS again. But we're not going to be reading Yertle the Turtle. We're going to be reading okay. I feel like none of you have seen the new book that came out. Well, it's not new. It's just like one of the newer ones Dr. Seuss made. It's called 500 Hats. That's something I haven't read, or Yertle the Turtle.
Didn't answer, so I zeroed out and spoke to a gentleman named Warren, who I thought he said he was sending out where's my information here? What he said, a case or a field appraiser named Troy, and we did not get a call from him. He said I would get a call from him before he came all the way out to the house.
Let's see, SEUSS by SEUSS. Let's see if we 500 Hats. Smell that guy. It smells good. It's so good. It smells so good, especially when it's black pages. It smells so good. I feel like I'm a professional. Oh, skipped it. Okay. Who thinks I'm a good reader? Okay, sometimes I'm not. Just think I am. Okay, let's get started. Okay, I'm going to show you the picture first, so that you know that when I'm reading, it's going to sound like this. In the beginning, Bartholomew Cabans didn't have 500 hats. He had only one hat. He was an old one that had belonged to his father. His fathers lived in a kingdom, and his father would never let him ever live with him. See that? So like his father would never let him be like part of the kingdom. And all of his friends don't know that he's a part of the kingdom. Wait, turn the page. It didn't turn the page. I have like a magnetic thing that turns the page. It turned. Great. Okay. The kingdom of Did, ruled by King Derwin. He hunts for his little boy, and when he finds him, he uses him as a slave and calls his kids mean jellyfish and uses hammer rocks to hurt him. Froth on the edge of fields, the Canberry bog, stood Caban's family. Small door, Malamu. He always claimed he would be the king, but he never did. Just after Saturday, a morning Bartholomew, the little boy went out with his grandfather. So nice. Not cruel like his father. His grandfather was sad with his real son. So, we appreciate you, they all said to the king. But that little boy, he didn't say appreciate it at all. All he said was, hope you have no trouble, Mr. King. We have always loved you, and everything in you. Down the narrow street, a carriage rode by. That was the king. The black and the white greeted together. The king leaned from his carriage window and fixed his eye. Well, well, he demanded, shook a fright eye out. I say, something he thought himself, but could think nothing to say. Off your hat, for and that moment, he took off his hat, but there was a hat still on. He had another red hat. He had one on his head and one in his hand. And then he took another off. And he had two in his hands and one on his head. And the king demanded him to live with him because he could just take off his clothes and he could keep getting more. King. And then he had one on his head and 4 hats flew off of his head from riding on the horse. Soon he had Soon he had 13 hats, one on his head and 12 on the ground. Then somebody screamed and ran as fast as he could from the old gospel grandpa. The grandpa was surprised. Why you are my grandson. Yes, I must live with my grandson. So they brought the mom and the son and the daughter and the baby and the other baby and the grandpa and the grandma all over to the kingdom. And grandpa, poor grandpa, was the guard. Poor grandpa had to stand out there and got beat up by rocks and terrible stuff. And it's just so terrible. And then the king, he decided he was trying to see if that little boy could still have so many hats flying off his head. So he has a hat on his head and asked the mom to use a bow and arrow. And he shooted 5 hats off, and he still had that one on his head. And then the biggest hat in the world did not take the whole hat off. It took one off. And then the little tiny servant whispered to the king, "We cannot shoot off any. We have been doing it so many times. Yes, 1506 and 1507, 1508. Until he has 1517, 1518, 1519 hats on his head. And all the hats we shooted down. We shooted down 1506, 1507, 1508, 1207, 1218, 1209, 231, 232, 233. We shoot out 233 hats. And he still, even the craziest man, and even the man that just goes poke, 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 the huge man does this. Poke, 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 poke. 506 million hats came off. And he said, "What a pleasure." And he walked up the stairs, and hats and hats and hats and hats fell off. And soon, he had the hugest, beautifulest hat in the world. And the king said, "You will jump off this cliff and see if your last hat might fall off." And it came back on. No wonder he was so brave and he had so many hats. And then the little boy gave the king his last hat and took all of the hats he ever pulled off into a sack. And the king and little boy became best friends and were happily ever after. The end. So, my name is Alyssa. I'm from Alley Cat Corner. Also, make sure to check out Mrs. Playground and Kindle's Playlist. Thumbs up, subscribe, and tell me what you think about the book. Bye!